welcome to another episode of Cheapo Vanning. As some of you know, I'm revitalizing my 1974 van called Cloud Dancer. The van was customized in the 70s and had a few themes, which I do my best to preserve. One of the themes is unicorns, as you can see from the stained glass taillights. Another theme is roses and butterflies, as you can see from the etched sunroof. There was also, for example, a stained glass rose in the dashboard when the van was built in the 70s. Unfortunately, though, in the 80s, I parked the van and it got broken into. The thieves ripped out the entire front dashboard, so I walked around the neighborhood and eventually found a smashed-up dashboard nearby and eventually glued the pieces back together. Years later, I ended up selling the van, and then about 20 years after that, I bought the van back and the entire dashboard was missing all over again. So I rebuilt the dashboard from scratch and included a tablet, GPS, radio, and other stuff this time. But then I got bored with the dashboard and ripped it apart all over again about a year or two later. Now I have a more artistic dashboard with wings and two radios. One radio is for inside of the van and one is for outside of the van. Anyway, I was visiting one of my favorite places, an outdoor flea market at Englishtown, New Jersey, which ironically is the same town where I found the van 30 plus years ago. And at the outdoor flea market, in the dirt in front of one of the tables were two pieces of beaten up stained glass with roses and butterflies. It was perfect for the van. Unfortunately, though, the stained glass was in bad shape and broken up in multiple places. So I bought the stained glass pieces for $5 each since they were in such bad condition. I then had to reinforce the stained glass as it was cracking and falling apart, so I decided to fasten it to wood. But I'm too frugal to pay for wood. It just so happens I recently bought my virtual reality car for $10. It was actually intended for a kid's bed, but I use it for my virtual reality driving games. Anyway, the $10 bed came with a large piece of wood that I didn't need. Free is for me, so I ended up using the wood and cutting it up and fastening the stained glass pieces to it. But then I realized the stained glass had too much clear glass, so you could easily see the wood behind it. Hence, I painted the wood white. But the white color was too boring, so then I added glitter to the white paint. I then fastened the stained glass pieces to the glitter-covered wood pieces. The next problem was how to hide all the cracked and broken stained glass pieces, so I put red fur around the edge of the stained glass and covered up those sections of the broken, missing pieces. This red fur was actually purchased by me back in high school, but I ended up never using it on the van. I then had to cover more cracks in the stained glass, so I added rhinestones to it. I bought the rhinestones at a flea market for $1 a bag, so that cost me another $2. It was still too boring, so then I added more mirrors and rhinestones, which I purchased at the $1 store. These mirrors match another part of the interior. It was still too boring, so I added a few stained glass butterflies that I bought at a garage sale recently for 50 cents each. And voila! For the total cost of about $15, I've got some cool stained glass butterfly and rose artwork for the van. However, I'm entirely out of space in the van. Even the ceiling is covered in stained glass and decorations. So stay tuned for where I place them. Feel free to visit Puzzele.com for the next episode. Puzzele.com